show where sports and combos collide. Authentic, unapologetic, no edits, no cap. Let the convo begin. No cap.
Welcome to the No Cap Sports Show podcast where sports and combos collide. I am your host, Kobe Turner, a.k.a. The Cobra.
And I am your co-host, Coach Thornhill from HipWorks. Welcome to be back.
We got old dog in the building. What's up, O? What's up, Cuzzo? Can't hear you. You're on mute. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Thought y'all wasn't gonna see me. I made it.
Oh no! I knew you was coming. I just knew you.
Hey, come on, man! Coming from the gym, moving around, going crazy. Yeah. All our listeners and viewers, y'all have to forgive me. I'm outside and it's 100 degrees out here. I could not wear no sleeves coming straight out the hot box. I am not catching a cramp for nobody. You hear me? It's 104 out here already.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. How your week been going, cuz?
Yeah, everything going good, man. Just got a little workout in. Everything been going good. How was your week? How y'all week been?
Good, man.
So far.
Just grinding, you know, had work, but I'm off until next Tuesday, so that's always a good thing.
That's a beautiful thing, brother. That's a beautiful thing. That's what's up. What's up, Cole?
We need some of that sunshine, man. This rain driving me crazy out here.
Oh, yeah? Well, in that case, let me open up these.
No, don't let them get started, Coach Miller.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you get them started.
No, seriously. No. But I heard it's supposed to be nice for the weekend, though. I heard it's supposed to be nice out there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. We'll see.
Oh, no, I got a flight out in the morning, so I'm not even going to be in town.
Oh, where you going, cuz?
I told you to the Natty to.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Nice.
Yeah.
Say no more. No more. That's what's up.
Safe travels.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. But look, fellas, like y'all always, y'all hear me say this each and every time, but it's facts. I always love these shows when we have a special guest coming on to the show. And today we have a special guest. Tonight's guest was a standout basketball player at the famed DMV High School, Riverdale Baptist, where she was also a star volleyball player. And then she took her talent to a Division I JUCO, Garden City Community College, for 2 years before transferring to Slippery Rock University, where she completed her collegiate playing career. Since then, our guest has made a name for herself and has earned recognition and respect in the basketball world as an uber-talented basketball coach and has already won the championship at Dunbar High School in Washington, D.C. So, you know what? Without further ado, please welcome to the show St. Andrew's Episcopal School head women's basketball coach, BreAnna Gross. Welcome to the show.
How y'all? How y'all doing?
What's happening? What's up?
How you doing?
All
What's
right.
What's up, Coach?
Thank you for coming to vibing with us, Coach Bree. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're just going to chop it up. Like I told you offline, it's going to be like a cookout environment, barbershop environment. We're just going to have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So
shout out. Let me say this real quick. Shout out to Garden City, Kansas. I almost went out there. I went on a visit out there, and man, they do a good job with their program as a junior college program, not only with the basketball, but the football as well. So I don't know how it is when you was there, but they always had a great, a good junior college sports program.
Yeah.
So shout out to Garden City, man.
Yeah, Kansas is a strong JUCO state. Period. My father went to JUCO in Kansas. My cousin, who was all met out here, went out there to one of those JUCOs, and then I almost went to Dodge City.
Okay.
Right across the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a little about Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, WEB.
Yes. So Coach Bree at the No Cap Sports Show podcast, we like to start from the beginning, so I want to start with, when did you find your love for basketball, and who or what was your inspiration?
It's kind of crazy. I was a soccer player at first.
Okay.
And I kind of had like a growth spurt, and it happened to be my godmother, who she became my godmother. She was my PE teacher in elementary school. She was like, "You're
Wow.
tall." I would just play on the playground against the guys. Really didn't know much, but just would play. And she's like, "You should play on the elementary school team." I joined the team. We won like 2 championships. Somehow they got word of mouth. Of course, I played for Clinton Jets, the Boys and Girls Club, but I played with the Beltway Lady Cougars, and they're not even existing anymore. So I kind of got
Yes, yeah. That was my first club team. Yeah.
okay. So
Okay. Yeah, Clinton
so
Jets.
and I think I was the only girl on that team too, Clinton Jets team, because there wasn't a lot of girls back then. And then maybe 2 other girls. I don't want to say I'm the only one. I can't remember, but it wasn't many of us. And I was with Beltway Lady Cougars, and all I knew, they were like, get the ball, and I got the ball. That was it. I couldn't do nothing else. But that's kind of how I got into basketball. It's kind of like by chance, I guess. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Awesome.
Go
Go ahead,
ahead,
jump in
Coach.
there, guys. Jump in there,
Go ahead,
guys.
Coach. I know you got a lot of questions with your daughter being a hooper. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, what I found interesting was it's cool that you said that you mentioned that you were a soccer player. So I train a lot of young ladies, and the one thing that I always notice is that the soccer girls are extremely physical. Like, and that's something that when you said that jumped out, and then you follow back up. You said you played with the guys. So when you were out there with the guys, how much respect did the guys give you, or did you have to work a little harder being out with the guys when you were playing?
I want to say, like, in elementary school, it's kind of innocent. I think they kind of just was like, we're going to pick up Bree because she know how to play, and we're going to play. I think it was kind of one of those things. I mean,
Mhm,
I didn't mind getting physical. I mean, I was
mhm.
told that when I started to really get into basketball and finding my passion, that I played like one of the dudes anyway. So I
Nice.
wasn't really like one of those prissy basketball players. Like, I mean, I had a couple injuries and kept trying to play. So that was just my mindset. Like, I'm trying to win. Like,
Yeah.
so
Nice. Competing. There you go.
yeah, just very
Awesome.
competitive. Always been kind of competitive. I mean, I have a little big brother, so he put me in a headlock. I think that made me tough too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So to some of our listeners and viewers that don't know, what I'm saying, about your background and your history, what positions did you play in school?
so throughout like Boys and Girls Club AAU, I was kind of like a stretch 2'4" because of my
Okay.
height. I kind of had
Right.
like a growth spurt, so I
Okay.
could shoot, but I was big enough for a 3, but I was aggressive enough to play the 4.
Right.
So that was kind of like back and forth. But back then, we didn't really know like position. It was just like, all right, I'm 4. I'm gonna play at the 4. I mean, I got
Yeah.
ranked nationally at the Adidas Phenom camp for being a 4, not for
Wow.
being what I went to college to be. And when I got to college, I was the runt, and I was like a point guard, shooting guard. So
Wow.
I
Got you.
kind of
Yeah.
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 And Coach Bree, as you progressed through the ranks, and it was time for you to enter into high school, what made you choose Riverdale Baptist? Was you recruited there? Was it another high school that you were supposed to go to?
So I was recruited by Riverdale. I was actually recruited by a couple schools, Riverdale, Holy Cross. I wanted to go to McNamara, but for some reason it just didn't align that way. Of course, Diane recruited me there, and it was like 4 other girls with me that she recruited. We ended up playing for Team Excel, kind of like funneled that way. So yeah, I wanted to go to McNamara, but God had other plans, and I went to Riverdale, and kind of had a successful season until I ran into some feet and knee injuries, like knee problems. So
Yeah, most definitely.
Got you.
When you were Riverdale coach, was Lou Wilson the men's coach, the boys coach there?
yeah, Diane and Lou was there. Yep.
Yeah, that's my man. He was my AAU coach.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
do you still keep in touch with the Riverdale program? Are you still familiar with what they're doing out there?
Yes, so I actually at Dunbar my first year, I kind of put together. I mean, it was told to me that I had one of the best non-conferences Dunbar had ever seen before. We played St. John's, we played ISL schools, WCAC, and I went back to Riverdale, and they kind of gave us like an announcement, like, Riverdale's own has come back here, and I played a game against them. So, and then Sean, who was the coach for Boo Williams, kind of was still coaching there. He was one of the assistants when I went to Riverdale, so it was kind of like being back home. Like, it was
So
great.
when you say Sean, are you talking Sean Wright?
What is Sean's last name? I don't
So
know. I just always
so I
known him as
went so
Coach Sean.
the reason that I asked about Riverdale is because my daughter played for Virginia Academy, and Riverdale was
Okay.
one of their opponents, one of their rivalries actually. And Sean Wright went to high school with me. He played football. We played football together, and he is one of the women's coaches at Riverdale. So I don't know if that's the same Sean you're talking about. That's why I was asking
It,
because I have a
it
connection with Riverdale.
it might be. I know the Sean that I'm talking about isn't there anymore, but he's still coaching
Okay,
for Boo Williams. So
got you,
if it's
got
the
you.
same
Yeah,
coach,
because
then yeah.
him and Coach Walt Hamilton both coach at Boo Williams. So I think we're
Yeah, yeah,
talking about
yeah.
the same.
So
Yep, yep,
yep.
yep. Perfect,
Yeah,
Small
perfect.
world.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
yeah, it is.
Small world. Small world. So after you went to school and you chose Riverdale, tell our listeners and viewers and tell us, a little bit about when did you know like you have the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to go to college. Was it after your sophomore year, junior year? Did it click like right away your freshman year? One of your coaches pull you to the side and say, hey, BreAnna, we feel like you might have an opportunity to really go take this thing to the next level and go to college. Or was it just you? Was that just your plan from the beginning when you came into school? Was like, I'm gonna kill, try to do my thing my freshman year, and the ultimate goal is to try to get to school. So, you know,
Yeah, no. Honestly, I was kind of ignorant to the whole thing. I mean, I was just playing because I
okay,
like to play, and I was competitive.
that's what's
Towards
up.
the end of my freshman year, Coach Diane had ended up getting a college coaching job, and I was on my way to Holy Cross. I had transferred to Holy Cross, and I had got
Okay.
a letter from Georgia. All I
Mm,
knew was this: Georgetown played against Pat Summitt. So this is a crazy story. When I was learning about college, I saw Pat Summitt.
mm,
She was playing a game, or they were playing a game against Georgetown. I thought she was the coach for Georgetown. I was like, I want to play for her. And then I knew Allen Iverson, my favorite player, went to Georgetown. So I'm like, oh, I'm stuck on Georgetown. Found out
right,
later, Coach Tennessee, not Georgetown. But
right.
I got a letter from Georgetown. I got a letter from Georgetown. Then it kind of sunk in, like the school where Allen Iverson went. They looking at me. So then it
Gotcha.
kind of clicked. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
okay,
Nice.
let me take this a little serious. And I
Yeah.
think I had a game at Holy Cross where I had like 22 points and like 6 steals or something like that. One of the best games I ever had. I came home that night and I had letters. Like, I even put on my Instagram, like I had tons of letters. And I'm like, what are all these? And they were just addressed to me, like how interested we were. Like, I mean, not just one or two, like 4, 5, 6 letters. Like they were just sending them. And I'm like, my dad was trying to explain to me, like, you're pretty good. You gonna
Yeah.
take this serious? Are you gonna
There you
like,
go.
I
That's
mean,
what's up.
this is called free money. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yes,
I'm like,
indeed. Yes,
Right.
okay.
indeed.
There you
So
go.
Mhm.
yeah, it kind of, after that first letter, it clicked. Like, all
Gotcha.
right, let me
Gotcha.
just
That's what's up.
really start taking it serious.
Yeah.
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 So you
Yeah.
mentioned
Yeah.
That first letter is
so Coach
everything.
mentioned that you played volleyball. Did
No,
you
I
have any
didn't. I just
coach? Go ahead. Go ahead.
from for volleyball.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you
No,
have any interest in volleyball. No.
no. So at Riverdale, they made you play 2 sports, and I wasn't
Okay.
doing track. So I just happened to play volleyball. Happened to be
Nice.
all right at volleyball, so it just kind of worked out that way. I mean, I played softball, soccer, I mean, I did everything. I mean, when I went to the Boys and Girls Club, I went to be a cheerleader and came out a soccer player. So that's how that went. So.
What? What?
Yeah, it's the true story.
Damn.
Like, it's the true story. I went in to be a cheerleader and came out a soccer player, literally.
And
Uniform
right
and
past.
That's
That's
awesome.
that's tough. What?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
So,
dope.
so who was your toughest competition in high school, both team wise and individually?
I want to say that growing up before we became teammates, it was two. One played with me at Riverdale, and one went to Elizabeth Seton. I loved playing against them because I felt like they challenged me. One was Tiana Marshall, and one was Atara Franklin. She went to, I think Tiana went to Georgia Tech, I think, and Atara Franklin went to Virginia.
Okay.
Wow.
And when I played them, we were like all the same height, had different games, but I just felt like anytime I played them, like if I was the scoring them, it just made me feel like, all right, because I just had so much respect for them. Like I felt like we were equally yoked, like growing up. Like we hooped, like we were hoopers. And to know like my journey didn't go D1 due to injury, but like they went, just gave me the gratification that I was, right on their level a little bit. So
Yeah, that's what's up.
yeah,
For sure. That's what's up.
yeah.
That's what's up. That's
You know,
dope.
so obviously you was being recruited. You told us about the letters you were receiving. So you go through your high school career. Now you're a senior. What made you choose going out to Kansas to play JUCO out there?
That was a blessing in disguise. So my junior year, I ended up tearing my ACL.
Okay.
It started by me going up the run and shoot because at the time it was called run and shoot.
Yep.
I mean, we
I was
not that
playing-
old, coach. I mean,
Well, for people watching, when I'm talking to the youngins and I say run and shoot, they're looking at me like, what? I'm like,
you
ARR.
You
Yeah,
right.
they don't remember the running
Yeah, but
shoot.
we got some old heads on here too now. So hey,
My bad. I'm just. So yeah, I ended up tearing my ACL in a game that I shouldn't have been playing in. It was a bunch of freshmen, but me, I'm like, why not get some extra work in? My dad said, you don't need to go.
Right.
I kind of heard it then, but my mindset was if I can get up and walk on it, I'm all right. So I wrapped it up, went to practice, kept playing, went down to Michigan. That's when Nike Nationals was down in Michigan. Went down there, went up for a layup and landed on a girl's foot, buckled it there, but couldn't get up that time. Kept playing because I knew that next week we had the opportunity to play in front of the Georgetown coaches. So that's just where my mindset was. I'm going to go play and I'm going. Like I wrapped it up and everything. And I'll never forget this girl did this crossover. She thought she crossed me up. She didn't. I just didn't have any lateral movement because as soon as I went to step, I fell.
Okay.
And then that's when I knew something's not right. We went, so Georgetown, I went to the Georgetown doctor. They were really great. I got connected with Dr. Klimplowitz, who was at the Georgetown doctor at the time, and found out I tore my ACL. So it was really a blessing of the skies. I ended up going back to Riverdale Baptist my senior year. And of course, Diane, I don't know how the story aligned, but from my vision looking in, she held like an open gym. And that was the first time I was able to play outside of the one game I got to play. And all I remember her saying is ball out, right? And I was like, all right. And I went out there and I hooped. Next thing I know, I'm going to Longhorns and I'm signing to go to Garden City.
Wow.
And I had no idea Garden City was in Kansas. I'm thinking Garden City, New York. So that was a whole other
what? Man, let me go get a drink on that.
I'm telling you. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm thinking like, okay. And at the time, we didn't have
no visit. So no visit.
iPhones, no visit. This was straight off. I signed, and then like 2 months later, I was on a plane. Like, because this was it. I mean, I had a Boost Mobile. I wasn't looking on the internet to find out where Garden City was,
right.
Like. So in my mind, I'm like, Garden City. The only Garden City I know is I'm from Garden City, New York, I guess. Man, we get on that plane and we get off that. We get off, and I said, Kansas. Never forget that. 3-hour ride too. 3-hour ride from the airport to the school. Then it smelled
Wow.
like cows. I was like, oh man.
So how much of a culture shock was that to you?
That
Real
was going to be
culture
my
shock.
question.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, it was cows. It smelled like farm. I hadn't seen real cowboys before. Like stacks of hay. Like it was crazy. Like I saw like a lot, like a big old hog. They just cooked the hog and was eating the hog. I mean, it was just crazy. I just never, coming from DC, going there was such a, cow tipping was a thing, rodeo.
Yep.
I mean, the first year I thought I was in a dream, like Twilight Zone or something. I just was.
The things you
Hooping was
found out that they
great.
do with idle time, huh?
Oh my God, cow tipping! I was like, this is a real thing. Like, this is crazy to me. Like,
So,
this
coach,
is what y'all do for fun. Like, what?
So you gotta explain that now. You can't just throw that out there. What is cow tipping for the listeners and viewers? What is cow tipping?
Okay. So cows sleep standing up, right? It's really mean. It's really mean what you do. But what you do is you go over there and you push the cow over while they're sleeping. And when they fall, they like, they like go crazy. It's real jacked up. It is so jacked up. And then the game is to try to lift them back up, because if you can't, he's stuck because he was sleeping. So then you try to lift them back up. And first time I've ever seen that was like an extreme sport. I just never do that. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'll never forget that. So.
Oh man.
So you went out. So when you went out to Garden City, did you get some interest from the Kansas schools, like Kansas State, KU, any other schools in the Kansas area, even some of the smaller schools?
From my understanding, I had UTEP. They were ready to sign me after my first year. But to be honest, I'm not sure what happened with that.
Okay.
I could have been a one and done, honestly.
Okay.
My freshman year, I had a pretty good freshman year.
Nice. So you had your grades. You was already a qualifier. You was just going because of your knee and your injury. So you was just trying to get more looks.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have left right after that first semester. I mean, right after your first season.
Yeah. Because I had Drexel and Memphis before I got hurt, and I was actually on my way to go do a visit. My second visit at Drexel. I had just came off a visit from Memphis, and I was leaving. I was coming back after Nike Nationals. I had planned to go to Drexel for my second visit, and it was between those two. And before I could get to my second visit, they had already heard that in Nike Nationals I hurt myself.
Dang.
So
yeah.
That's
in this day and age, social media, and just with this day and age, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it was like.
So for the listeners, Coach, can you explain what the level of competition was out in Garden City? Because I don't think a lot of people understand that there's, well, I'll let you explain it. What was the level of competition like out there?
Oh, I mean, it's crazy. Put it like this. If you want to know, I went to school with Tyreek Hill. So Nick Marshall, who went to Auburn. Mm-hmm. A lot of us were like D1 kids who went there to get a year. So we were either injured, we either were leaving, because back then there wasn't no transfer portal. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's where you went. I mean, I've played against some D1 kids, like the Jayhawk West and Jayhawk East. Like, I just sent my senior to Hutchinson. Very competitive. Always very competitive. I mean, to learn about JUCO was an eye-opener for me, because it's like you hear like, oh, you don't want to go to JUCO or you don't want to go D2. No, it's just the amount of kids that go there. The talent is there. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I went to school with Tyreek Hill. We know where he at. I went to school with Nick Marshall. We know where he ended up. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just went to school with people who were there for sports and who could really I mean, we were all there to just handle our business and leave. I think I went to school with like a professional soccer player who was like overseas. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
But at the time, we're just young. We're not thinking nothing. You know, we're just all coming from DC, Georgia, Florida, you know, Washington State, and just coming here to get our opportunity to go where we were supposed to go. Yeah. And it was such like a dog eat mentality. Like nobody played around. Like we knew we were tight because we were there for a purpose. Some of us had to stay 2 years. Some of us was gone. I mean, it was really just, I mean, people knock JUCOs, but I don't think you should. I mean,
you knock it if you don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, you talking to two almost JUCO guys right here.
100%.
Well, three. My bad, Coach.
I was in a JUCO.
Kobe and I almost went to a JUCO, but somehow these prep schools let us sneak in there. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, that's why I said I took my visit to Garden City. I did all of it. Highland Community College. And then, you know, I went out Cali. So trust and believe, we know about the JUCO joint. And if you're right, it's not just in basketball, it's in all sports. Because the ultimate goal when you go to those type of places is, excuse my language, is to get the fuck out of there. Right?
Yeah.
You got to be on your grind. So everybody, the ones that's focused, you do sort of, even at the prep school level, you sort of lock in with the folks that's in prep school. The folks that got that same mindset. It's like I'm trying to get out of prep school. I am trying to go. So you're 100% right. It is like that. You know what I mean? And it's not just the men's sports. And that's the reason why we're giving you this platform, so you can let our listeners and viewers know it's like that on the women's side too. You know? So
yes.
Yeah, sure.
It's very competitive on the women's side. I mean, if you just look at like the Netflix series, how the football teams in that area got put on for how competitive they are with football. Basketball is it's the same way. I mean, it's in the Midwest, and look at all those. You got Wichita, you got K-State, you got Kansas, you have a whole bunch of NAIAs out there, and then you have all the schools on the West Coast. So you're just kind of in a different. Coming from DC, all we know is East Coast. When I went Midwest, it was like, oh my gosh, like I'm playing with a chick that just came from K-State, and we on the same team.
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah. Or like I'm playing against the #1 recruit who's predicted to go to USC. Like it was like going to play in Colorado and all those places and playing against a different talent. Like, and to see some of them still in the WNBA or overseas is just great. Because it's like, look, I play with some of the best. Like, you know, so I don't think anyone should count out JUCO. Now they got the new rule where you can go to JUCO and it don't count.
Oh man. Yeah, man, I would have been out Cali so fast. I would have went out to Cali PC. I would have went to Pasadena so fast. Man, I would have went out that joint so fast. What? Yeah. And it don't count, and I can stay.
Yeah. I was out in Taft, California. One of the things I found out real quick, you have a mix of all of your Samoan and that type of apparatus out there, and you find out as soon as you step on campus, it is not a game. You better be ready, or you're gonna be sitting on the sideline. They don't care how good you were. You could be the top 100 kid from your state, but they flying them in, brother. You and like you say, you have to be competitive, and it's just a quick eye opener. Like, okay,
you better be competitive, because like she said, like Coach says, dog eat dog.
Dog eat dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
shout out to JUCOs and prep schools, because man, it is a big eye opener when you get there, because you may think you at a certain level, but when you get there, you see you got a lot of work to do. It's a lot of improvement you need to do. Because I came out of the DMV, Virginia State Player of the Year, first team All-Met, all that stuff. I go to prep school, I see these dudes gliding from the free throw line and doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I didn't know, I didn't know it was like this, because we had 13 guys on the team that all went D1. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to those type of schools, you can't help but to get better. You know what I'm saying? Physically, mentally, everything.
Because a lot of times back in our day, Coach, the guys that really went there.
Back in our day, you make it sound old as fuck. Back in our day.
Yeah. She tried to make it sound old. I'm like, so I'm following Coach. Back in our day, you know, Coach. But no, on a serious note, it was the guys that didn't qualify, or the females that didn't qualify, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you either they was trying to get that SAT score, or they was just trying to do that last, that postgraduate year to get that, to become a qualified. So it's a rack of dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, it is always. I tell people all the time, and now that at junior college, it doesn't count against you.
Man, they're so lucky. Like,
yeah.
They're so lucky. I mean, because if you think about where half of these JUCOs are, they're set up for you to only to handle your business.
Yeah. Can't get to nothing.
The entertainment we had in Garden City was Applebee's and Walmart. That was it. I mean, we got dressed up to go to Walmart because we knew we would see people from Dodge. I mean, because that was it.
Yeah.
I mean, getting to Seward County was 2 hours away. I mean, you had no choice but to just handle your business and do what you supposed to do.
Facts.
That's what's up, man.
So, Coach Bree, you put in that work at Garden City. Now it's time to make a decision what 4-year school you're gonna go to. So you decide to go to out PA to Slippery Rock. What went into that decision for you to go to Slippery Rock? And before you answer that question, I'm sorry, I just got to give a shout out to my OG C. Russell, who's a Hall of Famer from Slippery Rock University, one of the best point guards to come out of DMV. True OG, salute to him. And also my little brother, Frank Holloway Jr., who went to Slippery Rock. Yeah, Slippery Rock.
I was there when Frank was there. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Small world. Frank Jr., that's my little bro.
Yeah.
You gotta talk about Black Frank, are you?
Nah.
Oh, that's funny, Coach. It's a basketball player that hoop that we call him Black Frank.
Hey,
Coach. Hey, look.
Frank sure wasn't in school with Coach Bree. You better. He sure wasn't.
Hey, welcome to the No. Hey, Coach. Welcome to the No Cap Sports Show podcast.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, Coach, I didn't mean to sidetrack you, but if you can tell me what went into your decision to choose Slippery Rock University as your school choice.
So, Slippery Rock, I had found out, kind of did my research. That kind of fell in my lap too. Because once the whole UTEP thing didn't work out, I had already been at Garden City 2 years. I'm not going to lie, I kind of was like, I don't know what else I want to do. Like, I mean, I had a good season after my knee, but I wasn't the player that I used to be. So going to Slippery Rock, I ended up tearing my ACL again. So the coach that was recruiting me, I came in and did a private workout. Killed the workout. I mean, because I was just like, oh, all right, this is it. I can do that. Killed the workout. I knew that a lot of people from DC went to Slippery Rock. So then that kind of eased my mind a lot about it. And the campus was beautiful. And what else I liked about it is that it had a feel like you had your sororities and your fraternities. You had your sorority row. I mean, it kind of gave you that feel. I mean, because I'm not going to lie, Slippery Rock was definitely another culture shock for me, because coming from DC, going to the Surrattsville and Riverdale, other than Holy Cross, I'm like, oh my God, like, wow, okay. So this is different. I just wasn't used to that either. Granted, I'm a biracial woman, but still, I mean, just, it was different too. So knowing that they kind of still had that sense of feel, it was a lot of people there at the time from the DMV. It kind of felt like, all right, I'm close to home, but not really. And this is way different than Kansas. This is another culture shock, but I think I can fit in here. And I ended up tearing my ACL in the summer league down at St. Mary's, I think, St. Mary's College. So I tore my ACL again, but I was blessed because they stood by their I had signed. So this time I didn't do what I did at Drexel. This time I went down there and I signed.
Okay.
And then I came home, played in a fall league. I'm gonna say like that next week, and then tore my ACL again. I did what D Rose did. I literally just took a step and it buckled, and I tore the other one.
So, Coach,
So
you keep glossing over that injury. Can that speaks a lot to your mental fortitude? Can you talk about how your mental state was when you injured that knee the second time?
so it was hard. Back then we kind of glossed over mental health, right? We were just supposed to be tough, like figure it out, we'll be all right, keep it moving. Mental health is a big thing. I was like severely depressed for a while because I didn't know what else I wanted to do. And I went from being wanted to not wanted. I went from opening the mailbox to having letters to opening the mailbox and having none. I went from having 2-3 phone calls to nothing. And when you think as an athlete, like, oh, I've gotten good enough, you start thinking forward, right? Like, oh, I'm going to go to the WNBA, or I'm going to go overseas, or I'm going to do this. You don't ever think about when you get injured. And then no one ever talks about how everybody loves a winner and they hate a loser. Well, now I'm injured and nobody's talking to me. Like nobody talked about that. Like it was very, very hard. I mean, mentally, I knew I was a hooper. I was competitive, but to know like your body doesn't move the same way, no matter how much work you put towards it, I could never do the move again. It didn't matter. And then when I tore it again, I went into another like loss of identity. And it was because I worked hard, got over the mental, did everything I was to get back on the court. The moment I start hooping again, like I'm back normal, I got shut down again. And then when I recovered from that, I didn't know I didn't know who I was, because now the mental kicks in and now I'm kind of afraid, because the second one, all I did was take a step. Like literally step, and it just buckled. So it's just like I kind of lost my sense of identity. I didn't know what type of basketball player I was anymore. I went from being like this.
No, so what kept you pushing? Like what was your motivation to keep going, and what kept your spirits in a positive place?
Because at that moment, that was the only thing I was ever passionate about.
She loved the game, man.
And I didn't want to lose it.
Coach, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but when I knew you loved the game and you was my type of player is when you even said you went to JUCO. Because that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're talking about the good things about JUCO and how but it's also, it's fucked up too now,
Yes,
and you have
it's lonely.
It takes just being, you got to have strong family to help you, with as far as the eating and the living situations ain't really the best. And, so for when you said you even went to JUCO, I knew right then and there, you got to have a passion and a love for the game. You know what I mean? So, that's awesome. And then for you to, just solidify exactly what I was thinking, I was like, man, coach got to love the game, because anybody going to JUCO and chasing their dream and believing in their dream, you gotta love it, because it's a messed up side. It's pros and cons to it now, and they got some tough cons, right?
Yeah.
Salute to you, for real. That's a beautiful story. That's beautiful. But let me ask you something. Were you able to get your year back, because you tore your ACL in the summer, right? Going into Slippery Rock. Was you able to get your year back? So you see what I'm saying? Did you still play 2 years? Did you sit out that year and then play 2?
So what happened was I set out that year.
Okay.
They were like, don't use your eligibility, because at the time we didn't have all the stuff that we had now, which is so wicked to me, because imagine how many players that could have just gotten.
Yep. In school. Yep.
Yeah, but we didn't have that. So the best thing for me not to use my eligibility and go back, because once you go into the classroom, you use your eligibility. It didn't matter if you played or not. So I had to sit out a year. and then I just rehabbed, and then I played a year at Slippery Rock, and I started to peak towards the end. Like I started to like love it again. Like it went from being like, how can I explain it? Like trying to come back after 2 ACLs, and I'm a little older, and I'm like coming from like a JUCO, and these are like freshmen and sophomore. It just was such a different atmosphere for me. I started to peak towards the end, just for me to kind of tweak my knee again. So I never finished my basketball career.
Okay.
Wow.
I had went to the doctor. He kind of told me, I kind of blamed it on school because at the time I was like, oh, I didn't take the right class. No, I couldn't fathom that I had worked so hard and I got hurt again. And then the conversation was, you might need to have surgery again.
Dang.
I can do it, but you'll sit out. I cannot do it, you'll make it worse. Or I think it's about time you hang it up. Because, I mean, at this point, I'm like 21, 22.
Yeah.
You know, like, so that means I get surgery. That means I'm not playing again until I'm 24. And back then for me, that was unheard of. You're not playing anymore when you're 24. You're either in the league or you're somewhere else or you're working at a bank or something. You're not playing college basketball anymore. So, yeah, I never finished out my basketball career.
So, see, Russell said Morrow Fieldhouse.
Yeah. Now it looks all great. They redid it.
So Coach Bree, you mentioned at one point you said you found that love for it again. Did that love transition to you wanting to be a coach? Is that when those sparks started to go off? Like, you know what, I'm not going to play anymore, but I can still contribute to this game in another way.
Kinda. So I didn't want to coach.
Oh wow. Okay.
I got into coaching by accident, and I tell this story all the time. I was actually at home sulking, just in my feelings, wasn't doing nothing. And my old high school coach, her name was Nikki Lewis. She calls me and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing nothing," because I had no idea. Like, that's why I stress the importance of having a plan B. I had no idea what I was good at outside of playing basketball. Like, I had no idea. I was so just, I don't know. She calls me and she's like,
"You're a real hooper. You're a real hooper," because that's how we are. What we gonna do after basketball? That's how we are on football. We love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just at home feeling sorry for myself for like a little while, and then I even cut my hair. I was going through like a young crisis. I don't know, but I chopped all my hair off. My parents came home like, "What in the world?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm just."
Hey, Coach, what you trying to say? What's what you saying? Yeah, Coach. Come on, man. Knock it off, man.
My bad, y'all. My bad.
So
she calls me. So she calls me and she's like, "Come up to Capital Christian." They're not around no more, I don't think. It was up at the church. It was like right down the street from River Baptist. And they were like considered a fifth-year school for a little while. I get there and I come in there and they're like little kids playing basketball. So I'm like, "What?" She's like, I want you to help me coach." I was like, "No, like, I don't want to coach. I want to play. Like, I don't know how to coach. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to tell them." She's like, "Well, you're going to come help me coach. So no ifs, ands, or buts." Got me a polo, everything. Made me come to those practices, like, and would blow me up if I didn't, like, "Where are you?" kind of. Yeah. So I would come, wouldn't be paying attention, worth nothing, because I did not want to be there. Okay. I just was like, I'm going to play. I'm not trying to watch these little kids. Like, that was my demeanor. I hate that I had that demeanor, because look what it did. But boom, fast forward, Title IX is at the Armory, right? She calls me like, "Are you at the game?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're waiting for you. It's 2 minutes left." She goes, "I'm not going to make it. I got a flat tire." I'm like, what you mean? It's just me and you. So if you don't come, what does that mean? She goes, that means you gonna have to coach. I I look over at my father. He's like, what? I said, Nikki's not coming. He's like, it's your time. It's you go, you go. I'm like, I know I was red. I know I was red. And the kids is just looking at me and I'm like, my heart dropped. I'm like, are you sure you're not gonna make it? She's like, no, I'm like 30 minutes away. I'm looking at the clock. It's 2:08 until the game starts. Also, I'm coaching against Coach Bullock, who I played against. He's like a legend coach. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? He's like, my dad's like, you got this. You got to show up. You can't let them lose. I'm like, looking at these kids, and they're literally looking at me like, so what we going to do? Because mind you, I ain't been paying attention to nothing. I don't know no plays. I don't even know what defense they've been doing. All of a sudden, I look at who we had. We had a center. I knew the one girl could shoot. We had a point guard. So I was like, all right, we just gonna run the plays that I ran in college because I had to play point guard. So I drew the play up. It worked. They made the shot. Then I was like, okay, we're gonna play man to man, and y'all just switch everything. And that's been my philosophy since. Y'all switch everything. Next thing I know, we won the game.
Wow.
We won the game. And I was sitting there like, that wasn't that bad. You know, like, all right. Next game, we won again. Come to find out, that's the only 2 games that have won.
Wow.
And then it just took off from there. And I was like, oh, this is easy. All I gotta do is draw plays, and y'all gonna run the plays, and y'all listen, and okay, shoot, you ran it better than we did in college. Like, literally, that was my mindset. And then I got into AAU after that, got into JUCO after that, got into Division I after that, got into semi-pro after that, got into my head coaching job after that.
Wow.
That's dope.
Super.
Salute to you, man. Salute to you.
Thank
That's
you.
dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's a great story. So let me ask you a question. Real quick. We normally save it for the lightning round, but I'm gonna ask you a quick question. I want you to answer it. It's just first one word. What type of player were you?
Gone.
Oh, that was tough. Salute. Salute to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee. I hear that. Oh, you doing everything. You get rebounds, all that.
Steals, layups, to shoot,
That's
attack,
what's up.
all of it. Yeah.
That's what's up. Salute. Go ahead, Coach. I know you got some questions for, especially with
I was just listening to, because again, I always mess with O about this, because O has one of them great personalities that kids gravitate to, but he has a type of kid that he wants to work. He didn't even let me finish.
Go ahead.
He
I'm
won't
quiet.
work with a certain kid. How did you figure out what age range was perfect for you as far as you're able to tolerate? Because I can only imagine that I was kind of saying, once you're finished playing, and then you go back and you get involved with kids that's still learning the game, you still have that passion to play, and maybe not all the kids have that passion to play. What was your sweet spot? Like, what was your age that you found out, okay, like I could really do this? Not that you were winning, but you was like, okay, I could really help with this group of kids, and really like dove into it from that point.
I want to say it was like the age right before they transitioned to college, like that freshman age. So like the 16 through 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is strictly because I wanted to be the voice I never had. Because I made a lot of my dumb decisions, second guessed myself. And all I had in my corner was low-key my dad. But we all know when we listen to someone else that says the same thing your parents says, it sounds better coming from them. So I didn't have a lot of women who play sports who were that extra voice for me. I mean, I used to work out with Coach Keith, Willie, and I'd kind of be the only girl there sometimes, and then my dad. So it wasn't a lot of women advocacy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I had a younger female or even just an older one constantly pouring into me, like, look, your dad is right. Or this is where your grades are. This is what you should do. Or at the next level, this is what it looks like. I'm not saying I wouldn't have torn my ACL, but I do think it would have happened later on and I would have had more longevity in my career because I was just making decisions, ignorant decisions. Like, if you don't know, you don't know. And then my dad learning, like, oh, wow, I got this. He was a football player, so basketball's new for him too.
Mm-hmm.
By the time my sister came around, he was a pro, but I was the bait, like trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. So I didn't have a lot of advocacy. So that age is where I was like, I want to be the voice for the young women that I didn't have. Because there were just things that I went through and I didn't know who to talk to about.
So you tap right into that mentoring spirit. So it was bigger than the game for you.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Nice.
That's tough. That's tough.
So, Coach Bree, you coached in, like you say, you coached JUCO, you coached Division One. You were even a director of basketball for the men's team at Coppin State. When you went and got that job at Dunbar, though, how did that come into fruition? Did you apply for it? Did somebody reach out to you? What was it about Dunbar that wanted you to go ahead and grab that job? Because they're a legendary school out the district.
So I got a phone call. I was actually down at the Final Four at Houston, going to some of the classes, trying to make connections. I had just finished my master's. So I knew that coaching college was something I wanted to do, but I know to be taken seriously in a male-dominated industry, I was going to have a resume. So I had put it out there that I wanted to have some head coaching experience and kind of get my resume going. And if it wasn't for Kenny, who is the football coach at Ballou, we went to school together. He calls me. He's like, yo, I got an opportunity for you. I had ran into him at the CIAAs before. I think it was either after I came back. No, it was before I went to the Final Four. CIAAs, and we were chopping it up and we kind of connected. So it came full circle. So I went to the Final Four looking for a job and the job found me. So he calls me about Dunbar. I'm like, Dunbar? My grandma ran track there. And so did my aunt. So I'm like, oh, okay. I look it up. I'm like, oh, they got a pretty good program. They've been winning, Okay. So I'm like, all right. He goes, you need to call the AD like right now. So I call him. I sent him my resume. My flight home that next day, I was at Dunbar for an interview.
Wow.
And kind of just aligned like it was, very grateful. It's just the way that it aligned like that. Like,
yeah. So tell our viewers and listeners how that first season at Dunbar went for you. How that whole season came into fruition.
Well, I already know I stepped into a winning program. I just like to think that I fine-tuned some things, like made it look a little bit more shinier, Like I said, I was told that I had one of the best non-conferences in the DCIAA at the time. I put the girls on the stage. I knew with putting a girls on the stage that what comes with that, though, like when you expose them, you exposing them. So, we played against St. John's. We went to Boo Williams. We went to the She Got game. We played against Paul VI. We played against Georgetown Visitation, Georgetown. These were all connections I had because those coaches were still coaching from when I played. So I was very blessed for them to be like, yeah, come on, because I'm looking on the roster and I'm seeing that they've never played in any of these schools before. So I'm like, well, let's go ahead and prepare them for the biggest thing in the DCIAA is states. And from what I had learned, Dunbar women's team could never get to the states. So my mindset is, all right, well, we're going to win this and go to the states. And my non-conference is going to prepare us for that because the first team we played was like Moray or Carroll or one of them. I dealt with a lot of challenges. Political stuff. I was bringing college down to high school, so I already knew what it looked like at the next level. So either we're going to conform to a culture and we're going to get it together, or you got to go because I'm not ruining my reputation and lying for you. right? If I tell a coach that you're a great kid, you have to be a great kid. And there's no shade, but when they come back to me and say that you're not, that's my reputation, that's my loss of value. And now they're never going to take my word for granted again. So I had to set the tone, remove some bad eggs a little bit. And I know a lot of people didn't agree with me, but it didn't shake us the way they thought. It actually made us better. We actually went undefeated. Then it was like a lack of resources. My family was driving, like my brother was the van driver for us because we didn't have the money to get to some of these things that they said that we could do, So a lot went into the outcome. And then putting those girls on a stage like that and having them run a 5-out offense and having them run the Sacramento Kings offense, which I don't think people knew. I mean, it looked good for us. I mean, we were just doing things like the player that became MVP for me was a player that no one was kind of overlooking. And she got player of the year for me. So it's just like, I think we had the right pieces. You just didn't know how to play them. So boom, then I got my only senior into college. So like I said, I came into a winning program, not knocking that at all. I was very grateful for it. I just think I fine-tuned some things and put players that people weren't looking at in different situations. So that season I had player of the year. My center got MVP in the game. Some of my kids were like first team and second team. The only senior I got out of college at a Division I JUCO, CCBC. I think it was Baltimore Community College. And I had raised $5,000. I mean, I did everything that you were supposed to do coming into a program to keep them excelling in the right direction that it's supposed to. I mean, they're a winning program. So that first year was great. I mean, it was a lot, but it was great because we went undefeated. We won both. I got the kids looked at. I mean, the kids were being girls that probably, weren't getting what they thought they deserved. Were getting it now because they deserved it, in my opinion, and what I was trying to do there. I can't speak for what someone else thinks I was doing, but that was my intent and why I did it. So.
Wow. Hey, look,
you got to clap. Yeah, you got to salute on that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's tough. That's tough.
But so now you said the bar high, and you have a lot of expectations. So how do you prepare going into that second year at Dunbar?
So the second year, I lost like my whole starting five. One got hurt. One was leaving. But I was okay with that because I'm in the business of better. So if you're leaving a school and you're going to a private school with great education and they see your worth and they want you to play and they can have different avenues for you than me, I'm no hater. I'm not hating at all. I'm in the better business. So, I'm in the business of better. So let me help you get there and let me make sure ain't nobody lying to you saying we're going to give you a full ride. They're lying. Right. Let me make sure that if you're going to go, it's done right. Yep. Because I know what it's like to be lied to. I know what it's like when they tell you like, oh yeah, you're going to play every minute. No, you're not. No, you're not, and women, it's hard for women's basketball, so if I can be one of the good people in there, I'm going to be one of the good people in there. So yeah, I lost a lot of players, but I had conversations with them like, no, you should go to this school. And you know what? You can do the interview in my office. Okay. Do the interview in my office. I want you to go to this school, but if you got to go to that school, okay. Oh, you're going to leave to go to Mount Zion? Cool. Let me call the coach because I know. Make sure she all right. Make sure she good. There's no hating. There's no hating in me, right? Because I want what's best for them. And they didn't owe me no loyalty. I'm new. I was grateful that they gave me the year and we won. But they didn't owe me no loyalty after that. They did not. And I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you need to stay at Dunbar. No. You got to do what's best for your kids. And if going there is best for your kids, then okay, let me help you get there. I was in a rebuild. So answer all that, I was in a rebuilding year. Team full of freshmen, soccer players, volleyball players, girls that never played. Still got sixth place. Still got my senior a full ride to Hutchinson Community College. Still made it to the playoffs. And I say that with a little bit of umph behind it because there are coaches in that league that still haven't made the playoffs. So the fact that I was able to come off a championship team, take a pencil that you didn't give me a sharpener, took a pencil and sharpened it myself, and we still made some noise. Still got to the playoffs. I knew, even though I got a new opportunity, I knew coming into this year, we was gonna be dynamite because those girls hadn't experienced what they experienced their first year, but now they're going into their second year ready. They know what it looked like. They're not scared. Oh, we played them before. They are. I know. So it's different. You know, when you build in a program and starting from the bottom, you got to put them in those uncomfortable situations. So that's how you build great teams. That's how you build. I mean, my vision for Dunbar was to create like a high school JUCO. Get all the best freshmen, sophomore, come to Dunbar, get better, fine tune some things, use our league to better your game. And if you got to go, go. That's how you create
build that
powerhouses.
confidence.
That's how you create powerhouses. You're right.
That's how you create powerhouses, right? Yep. Like, so why not do? And it's already got the name, and y'all already been winning. Why not keep doing that? You know,
I don't know why more college coaches don't do that. I think college coaches on all levels would be better and create better programs now, because you have to almost, if you're not one of the bigger powerhouses, you sort of have to look at your school as like, I'm going to be a school that's going to propel these young men or these young women to another school, right?
Yeah.
So let me get those ones that just fell under the cup. Let me recruit those, right? Tell them come here. I'm gonna help you with your game, help you get right, like you said, and then go. I don't know why more college coaches don't do that. I think they have to. I think I get it. You want to compete for the championship, yeah. You can still compete for a championship with the younger ones, but I think it would be better. I think a lot of programs and I think a lot of coaches, if they took that philosophy that you're talking about, I think they will have. I think they will have some great programs out here. For sure.
Well, I think the thing that you're speaking on is true, because what I believe a lot of these college programs are afraid of is failure. And what Coach definitely has exhibited to us in just a short period of notice, she's tough. Like she has a winning mentality, so it don't matter. And she's confident in what she's able to do as an individual. So she pours it into it. Like she said, you had soccer players, volleyball players, girls that never played, but you're confident. You had athletes.
Goals.
And you're
what you say?
In your goons.
You had goons.
There you go. So
there you go.
That's what a lot of them don't want.
You're gonna be successful. 100%. And if you get goons to believe in each other and play for each other, you're gonna have a good program and you're gonna be good.
100%.
That's winning. Like, and I don't think people understand that. Like, that is winning when you could take a group of people who have never done something before and make them believe, make them want to be better. Like, they were just showing up because they wanted to.
Yeah.
That for me is winning as a coach.
Yep.
I mean, I had a volleyball player say, I think I want to play basketball again next year. She was there for volleyball, never played and had people talking like, she good. I'm like, I know, but she plays volleyball, like to go that far and like try to build that confidence in them. And I mean, for me, that's why people was like, well, you didn't win. No, I actually did. I did, because I took a group of girls outside of 3 basketball players. I only had 3. I had kids come and leave because they wanted to play for what looked good. They wanted to play for the aesthetic. They wanted to play for, oh, well, I should go here, instead of just buying into the process of I need to get better. And still, like I said, I got 6 plays and went to playoffs.
But your definition of winning, Coach, is big picture. Like, you ain't worried about the actual record. You're looking at the outcome. And that's what a lot of coaches miss. They don't want to take that chance because it's so built on the actual wins or losses. They don't want to wait for the big picture, you know. And so sometimes it just takes that confidence. And so, like I said, that's just your personality that you putting over top of them, which is awesome. So kudos to you.
But, hey, like our brothers say, bet on yourself.
Yeah. Shout out to little bro. Yeah. Shout out to Antoine. Shout out to GT. What's up, big bro? What's up, cuz? Everybody tune in,
for the
watching
shop.
Coach.
Yeah,
Coach,
G for
everybody
the
tuning
shop.
in, Coach. You spit that stuff, Coach. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm in
That's
now. You got me locked in. So what was next? So what's next? Talk.
Yeah.
What? So you leave. What's next?
Well, I was grateful for Dunbar giving me my first head coaching job opportunity. We had a lot of transition happen at Dunbar though. That kind of led ultimately to me leaving. So I had got kind of pulled into a meeting, and we had got a new AD, and he kind of wanted to hire people under his leadership. And me being who I am, I questioned that a little bit. I was like, I had got this, like, with no disrespect behind what I'm saying, I had got like a little report card about what I was doing. And it seemed like a lot of stuff was just pretty much neglecting what I had done the first year up until this year. Like I said, it was just a lot of, well, you lost players, not thinking about, was it better for the kid?
Right.
It was more so like, oh, you lost players, you And it's just like, but she went somewhere great. She went somewhere better.
Yep.
I mean, isn't that what we want for our kids? Like, we want better, right? We don't have no funnel system in the inner city. We don't have no JV system for girls.
Wow.
So we're doing the best that we can. And if we put them in the right situations to be seen, why not let them be seen? So I get, if you don't understand my vision and my purpose, why that would look crazy. And I'm not going to argue with that. Either you know, or you don't. So I was pulled into a meeting, and it was like, well, we want you to reapply for the job. I said, Now let me ask you this. If I reapply, that means you don't have to hire me back. That means you've opened my job up for someone else to get it. And based off this piece of paper, there's no reason why I have to. Well, no, but I want you to, because I want it to be the people that I hire. I said, okay, with all due respect, do not mistake my loyalty for not having options. So the word got out that I had to reapply. I got phone calls the next day. One of them was Sidwell, St. Andrews. So I took the St. Andrews job, had a conversation. The Sidwell conversation came right after I had locked in with St. Andrews.
Wow.
So it just let me know that, okay, you all see my worth. I've talked on panels with you. I sat on a panel with the Sidwell AD and had no idea that I did that. And he was just like, I love what you said to the kids, and I love what you said, and I knew blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, wow, I'm so grateful, because I had no idea. I was just being myself. So I get off the phone with Andrews. They're like, we love you. It's no pressure. We know building a culture and a system takes time, and we want that. We like what you got going on. So it just showed me what I said was true. Like, don't mistake my loyalty for not having options. How is a place that has more resources, more everything, seeing my worth, and I'm right here in your face and you don't see it? So I know God don't make mistakes. So I took the opportunity, and then moved on from there. And I was honest and upfront. I told my coaches, I told the people that mattered, I told my players, I ain't got nothing to do with you. But I'm not going to lie either.
Yep.
Because I'm not in the business of that either. If I'm going to speak, if I'm going to say I'm authentic and I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. So, like, I love y'all. I'm still here for you. I still want what's best for you. Shoot, some of y'all can come with me.
I'm about to say, did you take any with you? That's what I'm about to say. You ain't taking that with you?
Yeah, I did. I
I'm
asked
about to say, you better
come with me.
There you go. There you go.
And this is to be true. I went back into the city and asked some of them girls to come with me too.
Yeah, you supposed to, because
I
it got
did.
talent in the city for sure.
Yeah,
and like
raw talent. They just need that opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and getting out there, seeing those resources, probably that beautiful campus and school. Come on, that's what it's about.
The culture shock was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I knew that it was something outside of the city. It was something outside of the DMV.
Yep.
So that's, if it can be as small as going to a school up the street that has really nice grass and good classrooms and
Yep.
whatever the case may be, then
Resources.
let me go ahead and push that narrative for you. So when you go to these big time schools, you're not afraid to go
Yep.
there because you ain't
Awesome.
never seen it before.
That's what's up.
So,
That's what's
yeah.
up. The resources. It's the resources. You know, they open up them doors and opening up resources to you. I'm pretty sure you had your own bus driver now. You ain't have to have your
Yeah.
brother or your cousin.
I'm talking to the AD and he's like, oh, you know, like I've tried to put together a midnight madness at Dunbar, you know, race community, tried
Yeah.
to but I called it a night of peace because there was a lot of gun violence. So Ray Grant had came there. I was trying to do all that. We had vendors there and everything, performers, everything, like try to get the community, try to get people to buy in. I'm going to St. Andrews and I'm like, so, you know, I did it. They were like, coach, that's our job.
Already done.
We just want you to coach. I was like, okay, so what about the buses? You know, because I'm like, I had to, this is all the things that I'm not to downplay where I was blessed to even be here.
Yeah, for sure.
But just to just say, like, that was my mindset. He's like, coach, you got buses. Like, it was almost like the way he was responding to me was just like, how you not, like, you know who you're talking to? Like, I was like, well, what, you know, how can we do fundraising? Coach, you don't got to do that. Well, I want to do a midnight madness. We already got that. It's a prep rally. We already, well, you know, I was thinking about doing this. We already do one. Like, it was just crazy that all the things that I was trying to bring, which I didn't mind. I liked it. You know, like it. I like doing stuff like that. It was just already a given. So that's where the whole worth thing comes from. It's just like, how can someone with all of that already figured out see my worth? And I'm right here next to you and you can't see it. Like,
Well, so it goes back to another point. Like some people don't mind, they don't mind losing because they lose in their way, and they just can't get out of their own way. So you step out of their way, let them do what they want to do, and you go do what you got to do, what's meant for you. So kudos to you
That's
for
dope,
seeing that
man.
and kept it moving.
That's dope. That's what it's
yeah,
about, man. Coach, that's what it's about, Coach. Trust me, man. We in the coaching, Coach Milton and I, we in that business, you know what I'm saying, too, with the kids. And you know what I'm saying? It's crazy that we talking about that because Trey just texted me. We got a young man that I mean, Coach, I kicked him out the drill. Told him leave me alone. Go over there. I can't, you know, I go.
Hey,
Man, get
changed
out
his
the
name.
drill.
that's the kids you want, though. You want those kids. You know,
I sent him out there. No, I couldn't do it, Coach. I can't do it, Coach. I said, take your ass over there with Coach Milton and get him right. We talking about a no star. Right. You know what I'm saying? We talking about a no. We had him since the 8th grade going into the 9th grade. No star, you know, worked his butt off, got better and better, always made daily deposits, wound up getting the most offers in his class at his school, wound up having over 20 some offers all over, right? Committed to James Madison, right? But then got a late offer from Syracuse University. He just went this weekend, and he just texted me just now while I'm on the podcast. And I told him to turn to the podcast, so I hope he's watching.
Yeah.
He got his conditioning test tomorrow, and he was like, we got 14 110s, and he laughing. He said, that's nothing from what y'all used to do to me.
We just
And to see him not have no offers, no scholarships, no nothing to go to now being at Syracuse. That's what I'm saying. That's what it's all about. So salute to you, man, because I know how it is when you're dealing with these kids, man.
Yeah.
And to have that mindset, we need more of that in all sports, on all levels. So salute for sure.
I got to give you another round of applause for that. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Hey, his name, I call him Timothy. I don't even call him, he was messing up so much, Coach. I gave him a name and I call him Timothy. I don't even call him by his real name.
The crazy part is I just told him we just ran 15 cut 110s before he went down. I said, I don't know what they're gonna how you do, but you know how we gonna get out here and work. So let's
I
go.
know that's
So the
right.
fact that they got 14, he's like, oh, that ain't gonna be nothing.
Right. Good for him. Look.
He just, hey, the
No,
work is
Yeah.
what we
he ain't
do.
even got no. It ain't no cut. He just running 14 110s, no cut.
Oh wow.
It's
Okay,
14
that's
straight
easy.
110s. That's why
Yeah,
he like. Yeah,
it's
that ain't.
easy work.
Yeah, that ain't shit. That's a warm up. So salute to you though, coach. That's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
Thank
So,
you. I
yeah,
appreciate
salute
it.
to you, coach, and salute to you, old dog, and Coach Milton.
Nah, don't salute to
Because,
me. Salute to coach.
because
If I
That's
had it
what
my
we
way,
do.
it
no, if
takes a
I had
lot
it
of
my way, get rid of
perseverance.
all of them.
Yeah, look though, it takes a lot of perseverance. You know what I mean? A lot of love for the game and a lot of love for those kids to
Yep.
to stick in there and get them to where they need to be. Because I mean, y'all come out to see some of the games I coached, saw some of those kids I had. I couldn't do it. I said I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I called. I said I'm not coming back next year. I can't do it. I'm not doing it.
Hey,
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 I'm gonna just watch y'all kids.
hey.
Yeah.
Obi had some wild boys though, man. Man, he had some wild boys. Teammates fighting each other, halftime. Crazy, man. Wild boys, man.
Yeah.
Wild boys. But
Mhm.
salute, man. It takes a lot, man. It takes a
Uh,
lot. So yeah.
Absolutely. So before we move into the rapid fire section of the show, I just had one more question because Coach Milton kind of asked us in the beginning of the show about you gaining respect as a player from the guys. How was it gaining respect from your men counterparts, coaches, ads, players? What was that a challenge to gain respect from them as in the coaching space?
Yeah, it is actually. If I could be transparent, um, until I start talking basketball, that ain't the first thing people. A lot of people thought I was a cheerleader, and a lot of people didn't think I was a hooper. And in the beginning of my journey, if I can just be very transparent, it wasn't a lot of respect.
They were judging the
It was
book. They were judging the
they were
book.
judging a book, and you already get you already get the stereotype if you're an attractive woman to people. Oh, that's how you got the opportunity. But that's why I really prided myself in my journey and learning all aspects of it, getting an education, going to the different parts of it, like coaching here, coaching there, because I knew that when it was my opportunity to show for it, that I would show up. And then you would have no choice but to respect me first. And then be like, oh, and she got baby hairs. Cool. Like so it's hard. I tried to put that as very it's hard. I didn't get a lot of opportunities because of the way I look, to be honest. I mean, I had coaches flat out say I can't work with you.
Wow.
Mhm.
And I won't say what else was said, but
Yeah,
I can't.
yeah.
And it was
Well,
just like, I'm trying to coach basketball. Like, I don't even care what you want. But
all that extra stuff. Yeah.
it always comes with extra stuff. So to be able to build my portfolio and have and win and do certain things to outshine that a little bit, I mean, it was all worth it. I mean, because now I'm getting opportunities for you to hear me speak, right? And now you know what my mindset is. Now you know what type of coach I am.
Yeah.
Instead of just looking
Coach,
at my Instagram picture, now you know, like, okay, she a hooper. Okay, she did this. Okay, she's like this. But I know that it was just divine timing when it was going to have to happen.
so St. Andrew's Episcopal, that's what we know us old back in the day, right? Back in the day, that's the Episcopal across the bridge, Cole?
No, 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 no,
Okay,
no.
it's a new Episcopal. It's a different Episcopal.
It's a different high
Okay,
school than what you talking about.
okay,
You talking about Episcopal High School in Alexandria.
okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
okay.
what a lot of people thought. No, I'm in Potomac, Maryland. I'm in the ISL league, so I play Bullets, Little Friends, Potomac School, Murray. Yeah,
Ooh-wee, you
I'm
in
in that
Potomac,
league.
Maryland. Oh yeah, you good. You in Potomac,
Yeah.
Maryland. You good. Shout out to Chris Samuels in Potomac. Shout out to my nephew. He is the my nephew is the assistant athletic director at Bullets. Scholar
Okay,
Springs.
beautiful.
Shout out to So if they're connected to play a game or something, or
Yeah,
whatever, yeah. Salute. That's what's up.
thanks.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Hey fellas, let's get into this rapid fire game with Coach Bree. I know y'all got some rapid fire questions for, and don't make it easy. Y'all always letting our guests off easy, man. Give us some tough questions.
Go ahead, coach.
You got something loaded
Oh
on there,
man.
Coach
Hey, I really, I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't got nothing for you.
I
I'm
got
sitting
one.
here.
I
I'm
got
still sitting
one.
there. Yeah, go ahead, coach.
You can bench, start, or cut. LeBron, Kobe, and the GOAT, Jordan.
Bench, start, or cut.
Rapid fire.
I know a lot of people gonna hate me for. I know a lot of people gonna hate me for this, but I'm cutting LeBron,
Ain't got no
and
argument
I
there.
am
Boy, this almost was the
starting
first
Kobe,
time on the show I almost
and
removed the
I'm
guest.
benching Jordan.
Hey. Go ahead, remove him, man. She talking about she starting. Oh, man, get out of here.
You know
I
why?
was
You want
with
to know
you. I was
why?
with
You
you.
want to know
I was with
why?
you when you cut
Because those
LeBron.
two players, respectfully, those two players weren't crybabies.
Michael Jordan.
Mm,
No, he was not a crybaby.
So
anyway,
you starting Michael Jordan.
No, I'm starting Kobe. I'm benching Jordan,
Hey, coach. She said what she said.
and I'm cutting LeBron. But I'm not a LeBron fan, so
You're gonna make me take a shot of bourbon.
dang, Coach Bree.
I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm like I said, I already know I'm gonna catch a lot of smoke for it. But
Nah,
I've
you good.
never
No,
I've never been
this your
a
team. Nah,
I've
this
never
your
been a LeBron James like super fan. I mean, I
it's your
think he's done
team.
some
It's
great
all
things
good.
in that, and I mean he's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but
That's what's up.
So I don't have a rapid fire. I would love to get your take, just being like you said, a mix of biracial woman. Give me your take on the Caitlin Clark Angel Reese step
hmm,
that's going on right
Good
now.
question.
I think it's a narrative they're trying to paint, and I hate that they're trying to paint Angel Reese as like this like aggressive person, and then Caitlin Clark like nonchalant
Mm-hmm.
because there's other players that do it all the time in this
Mm-hmm.
reversed role. I mean, like Diana Taurasi was a big. I mean, that's my best. That's my favorite player. She's a big old butthole. I mean, like, and everybody knows it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was no shame in her being like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do think that is the narrative being painted
Mm-hmm.
because it's happened before and it hasn't been explosive like that. But I do think that Angel Reese is in the limelight more. And as a woman and women of color, we're always at the bottom of the totem pole and they're always going to say stuff and they're always going to create a narrative that still be your authentic self, but just be prepared because everybody watching, you know, like,
Awesome.
Yeah. So I got to start bench and cut question for you. Start bench or cut Kiki Rice, AZ Fudd, or Juju Watkins.
wow.
Yeah, we got to make it a little tougher for you. And two of them from the DMV. They don't catch
I
you on the
know,
streets.
Rice and Fudd.
They gonna catch you on the streets.
Uh,
It is rapid fire.
I'm saying it is rapid fire, coach. Come
Hey,
on.
hey,
Come
part
on,
two
learn.
of the show
Hey,
next Wednesday.
I
how
don't,
about
I don't
Norman
know. I
Page?
don't know.
Come
I don't
on,
know.
coach.
I don't
Sir,
know. I don't
come
know.
on, coach.
Is there a consequence for this or something? I don't know.
Nah, he has stand on
All
business.
right,
Come Bree. Hey,
Hey, coach,
All
you
right,
ain't
let me
scared. Come
see.
on, you ain't scared.
you a goon.
Go-
yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so uh
What they say a goon to? What's a
I'm
goon to
starting
a father?
Rice. I'm starting Rice.
Okay.
I like her game a lot. She played like she from the DMV. Um, and I'm benching Fudd because Fudd has had an unbelievable comeback season, has been hooping. and is starting to come back to who she was supposed to be before her injury. I think she got a lot of potential to kind of come back into who we kind of forgot about because she was injured. But if you start to watch the end of her season, I mean, Shorty was putting up good numbers, very well-rounded. Like,
Yep.
I don't know. I guess I'm cutting Juju then.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Favorite football team?
Commanders. Home team fan. Always been.
That's what's up. You supposed to be.
Um,
You didn't have a choice.
Well, no, my father's a Rams fan. My grandmother Pittsburgh. My godmother the Eagles. My brother the Ravens. We all divided.
Oh yeah, so the whole house is
Yeah.
That's what's
So
up.
can you give me your top 5? Just your top 5 in any order, female basketball players?
good question.
Still hooping now or a mixture of retired?
Hold up.
But just wanted to know.
Fredo Keith
Whatever
said.
you want.
Fredo Keith said, "You cutting Juju? Oh hell no! Night." Hey, Fred, got off the show.
Hey, OG, you crazy. Hey, OG, you crazy.
Fredo,
Shout out
hit
to
the
OG.
button. Fredo hit the button on it.
Let me see. I mean, I kind of already said I like Rice. I like Fudd. I love Juju. I do. I love her. I think that answer I gave was more a home team answer, to be honest. I like the guard from Texas. What's her name? The big guard.
The one that came off the knee injury?
She's like
you talking about the sophomore, number 30. I think she wear number 35 for Kevin Durant. She can boogie.
The one from Texas?
Yeah, she can boogie. Yeah, she can boogie.
She a big body guard for real.
Yeah,
I love
I think
her.
she's a sophomore. She might even be a freshman. Yeah, she can boogie. She an underclassman for sure. Yep.
And then one just graduated. I mean, they kind of all played the position that I played. Her name was Sarah Ashley from Alabama. She went off for a 40-piece against Maryland. I mean, silent bucket. I mean, shorty could hoop. I mean, played like a dude. I just loved every ounce of her game.
I know you said Diana Taurasi. Give me 2 more names that you follow when you were coming up. Especially with you being in the DC area. I asked you those 2 questions, but my second question is did you follow the Mystics? Being the Mystics, was a WNBA program in the area where did you follow the WNBA Mystics as well?
So if I could be honest, we weren't big fangirls when I was growing up with the WNBA.
Okay.
And there was a big stereotype around the WNBA, and nobody really watched it for real. I don't even remember going to a WNBA game, which is kind of sad. But that just shows you how much the game has changed. I mean, growing up, I kind of only knew about men's basketball. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I saw college. I mean, I watched it as much as I could. I knew about certain coaches. I knew about certain players, but watching it, no. And it's sad to say, but I don't think a lot of us did. I'm not going to speak for everyone, but I can just say that I think if I was to ask some of the people that I grew up like, did we ever go to the Mystics game? Like, I think I went to one where I went to like a Mystics parade.
Okay.
Like, and I think I have a picture that I went to one, but that's, yeah.
I just asked that question because you said Pat. I asked that question because you said Pat Summit, Tennessee. So I ain't know Shamika Hoslaw. I ain't know if you knew about Shamika. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to me. I didn't know about Shamika.
I knew about certain players. Yes. Okay. So but it kind of only started coming in when I was getting these letters, right? That made me curious to I don't even think I had a laptop. I had to go to the library and go look it up or something, right? So that's when the curiosity and me learning about all that started to come in. Like, if I can be honest, I want to say maybe, freshman year, I started really, after I got that letter, I started doing my research.
Okay.
Oh my God. That's even when I learned you can go to school for soccer. I didn't know that either. So it's just a lot of ignorance and just learning.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now your two. Well, just give me your what two favorite college players besides what two favorite female players besides Diana?
Maya Moore,
Go.
and
Monster.
Tina Charles.
Oh yeah, she a dog.
Another monster. Yeah, she can boogie. She can boogie.
Like
That's what's up.
great
Salute.
hoopers, yeah.
That's what's up. Salute.
So do you see or identify a WNBA player that you played similar to when you was playing?
I tried to be like Diana. Like I would wear my hair like her. I tried to be aggressive like her. Like I used to have the slick back ponytail.
Shout out to D.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just gravitated towards her because I felt like we had like the same demeanor. Like she just plays so fearless, and I kind of just latched on to that because I kind of played fearless. I mean, I tore my knee up how many times and just kept trying to play, like, oh, I'm all right, wrap it up, like, so I kind of gravitated towards her personality and how she played, like, so that's who I thought I was playing like. That answers this question.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Salute.
So being a high school coach and understanding the climate of like the college world today, how is it for you as a coach with trying to get your young ladies into college? Right now, what do you feel as a coach? What is the obstacles to overcome now with trying to prep the young ladies for college?
Well, I could just speak on my experience in the inner city. It was just, disposition. Like I was trying to teach parents too, who didn't know either. Like, she's got a 2.5, she got a 2.0, but no, let's stretch and get her a 2.5 or 3.0 because now she can go anywhere in the country. Let's make sure she's taking certain classes that will, if she doesn't do so well in the SAT, if she has to take courses, they align well. I mean, I just like their demeanor. Like, you can't be cursing. You can't tell your coach, suck your DICK. You can't do it. You got to cut that out.
That's wild.
And if you, and I mean, it's crazy. I mean, just the whole, like, I'm going to walk in and practice and eat noodles. You ain't doing that in college. Like, if you want to be here, then let's be here. Like, working out. Like, I had them doing, like, dynamic stretching and circuits. I mean, just the things that I had taken from college that they just had no idea about. And then it kind of put in perspective for me. Now I can understand the frustration coming from these college coaches. There is, I don't know, I can't speak for anyone, but just being where I'm at, there is no one teaching these kids what the next level look like because maybe they haven't been there yet, right? So now that I'm left and I'm coming down, it's my job to teach you what it looks like up there. So you're not giving these college coaches a hard time all because you just don't know, or you're defeated, or you're scared, or this is new, or it's too hard. No, I've kind of put you through something a little similar. So when you go to school, it's not that hard. Oh, I've seen this before. Yeah. I ran the Tennessee drill before. I know what that looked like. Oh, we did dynamic stretching and plyos at Dunbar. Okay, we did yeah, I remember my coach told me I was a leaner and I was a gainer and I was a maintainer. Yeah, I know. So I got to do this. Like, just teaching them what DHO is, PNR, because those are the things that they're going to need to know at the next level because the coach is recruiting you and expecting you to come in here and play, right? They're expecting you to know how to how to set a screen, how to read a screen. They're expecting you to be able to dribble. They're expecting you to make a layup, right? Like, I just felt like if I start thinking about what my purpose is in this career is to prepare them for that next level. So it's not so many girls dropping off or deciding that I love basketball, but this is too hard, just all because they don't know what it looks like. So
awesome.
Yeah. And Coach Bree, if you could like write your own script, what would be your your dream coaching job, like your ultimate career goal as a coach?
Everybody who knows me knows head coach at Georgetown.
That's
I
what's
wanted to
up.
stay home and keep the kids home. We got too
That's
many
dope.
kids going elsewhere, and when we got really good universities here, they just need to be prepared for a school like Georgetown or be prepared for a school, like Maryland. So
Wow. My boss at work was what played for Georgetown. She one of the best 3-point shooters to ever play there back in the early 90s, I believe, late 80s, early 90s. So
beautiful.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's all. Georgetown, awesome school. Hey, good luck with that. We definitely, no, serious, we definitely gonna be looking out for you getting that dream job because hey,
Thank
I
you.
think you can do it.
That's
That's
the
dope.
goal.
Yep,
That's
yep.
dope.
Hey, fellas, before we wrap it up, any final questions for Coach Bree?
Nah, I think I learned a lot. I learned a lot. That's dope, man. That's
No,
dope.
I appreciate your story and keep doing what you're
Awesome
doing.
story.
You're
Awesome.
awesome,
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
awesome mentality, awesome drive, and I love what I hear about how you're approaching it. So continue
Co-
success with it.
Yeah.
Coach, you don't have no questions for Coach about like just the recruiting process or anything like that, or the transfer portal or anything like that?
Well, that was kind of part of like what like just what advice would you give to someone? Well, what with the transfer portal?
Why don't you tell Coach real quick if real quick, tell him no seriously, Coach, because you never know who Coach might know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
So
He has a daughter who's a goon just like you, big time
defensive
point
stopper,
guard.
point
Yeah.
guard. Let her. What's the name of the school again?
she went to Queens out in New York, Queens
She went
College
to
out in New
Queens
York.
out in New York.
Yeah,
Broke the record for steals. She do all the stuff nobody want to do nowadays. Defense,
yeah,
more defense, steals,
yeah,
assists, all that type of stuff.
yeah.
But her coach, coach, you tell the quick
Yeah,
story
yeah.
before we
So,
get out of
so
here.
just kind of some. So, my daughter, her name is Sandra. She's out in Queens. So I'm actually going to pick up Friday, and so she's a defensive 3-level scorer. That's how I describe her. She's raw as all get out. She didn't play AAU ball. She has two brothers that kind of pushed her to play basketball because they both play ball, and she was just around it because I train athletes all the time. So she decided her sophomore year that she wanted to take it serious. So that's how she ended up with Coach Walt over at Virginia Academy. He brings her over there. She is the sixth man coming off the bench, and everybody was asking why is she coming off the bench. Great defender. She's just a tempo player, and so they won two state titles, and so she ended up going to college. She wasn't even sure she was going to go to college because she always doubted if she could play. She was still doubting herself, but she gets it to Queens, and she has a coach that basically we found out has just been running girls off. She started every year with a group of freshmen. She had a lot of racial overtones, and I sent both. We found out because about a week after we sent her there, we found out that the coach brand new girls to New York, takes them to a bowling alley, and then makes them walk home from the bowling alley. And we're like,
Wow.
I'm like, and so my daughter didn't say nothing because she was like, well, all the girls were together. I'm like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely, you are nowhere from New York, and you walking. Like, what are we doing?
Oh man.
So then, fast forward, she comes here to DC and does the same thing. Drops a girl off at UDC and makes them walk to go get something to eat, and she drives to the restaurant. So while doing all this, my daughter comes in shape. She went there in shape, and she broke the conditioning record as well when she got there. But the coach told her and all the other girls, it's not just my daughter, but she told all of the girls, it's two players on this team that's going to score. One is the center. She's going to get 85% of the touches. The other one was a sophomore guard, a shooter. She gets the other 15. The six of you freshmen, y'all figure it out. So again, like I said, my daughter's a 3-point shooter, so she puts it. She gets her in. She could play 1, 2, or 3, and as she's starting to figure out, it's hard to keep her off the floor because she does all the little things. She can handle the ball. She can pass. She's an unwilling passer, and she can get to the basket, but she loves to play defense. And so what she did was she actually took her, put her in a corner, and made her stand on the three-point line and told her not to shoot threes. And so my daughter's first game that she really let her play, she scored 21 points and had 14 steals in her first game. She's like, all right, I'll figure out. Like, if I steal the ball, you can't stop me from, you can't stop me from scoring. And so I think they went in, they were ranked to preseason, they were ranked to start the season, they were ranked last. They went in right before Christmas. They were tied for first place against a school called Damon. The coach, right before the game, sits all the starters going up against the number one team, the preseason number one, and they're number one. They're tied for first place going into this game. The coach sits all the starters. They go down by 20. She puts the group back in. They cut it to 12, and then at halftime, she gets on one of the other players and tells him she's a disgrace. That basically cuts her out at halftime. And so the girl, she basically quit on the spot. And so they ended up losing by 6 to the number one team going in. So after that, everything kind of fell apart. But, we started it. So it's like, all right, we just going to finish it up. As long as she don't touch you. She throwing balls at girls. Just all kinds of crazy stuff. So long story short, she ends up getting fired. They were under investigation the whole season, but the school still was dragging. She literally just got fired about a month ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so, of course, we finished the season. My daughter goes into the transfer portal. So now we're just trying to find a new home for her. And so, and Cole, the crew is really...
Call St. Francis Coach China. They have a unique situation going on there, but she needs players and she's looking for players.
St. Francis Coach China.
Yeah. I just got a girl from South Carolina talking to her. I did talk to her yesterday. She said she's looking for people. She needs players. Like I said, they have a unique situation, but it would get your daughter out of that situation, puts her in a D1 situation, gets her playing time, gets her more film, and then you guys can go from there.
Beautiful.
Won't he do it?
And her name is China. Okay. And I can exchange that information however.
That's what's up.
Awesome.
That's what's up. Ain't it? Hey, look, you can't go. You can't say nothing else after that. Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, let me give a shout out to.
I'll send her contact to you.
Hey, let me give a shout out to who we want to be our sponsor. Can't forget about Sprite. Shout out to Sprite. After a long night, and you trying to get right.
I love it. Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
the whole jingle with it too. Huh?
Hey, look, I promise you, it's the best hangover thing that's gonna get you right back. That's why I'm talking about. You had a long night. You got to get a cold Sprite. I promise.
Love it. Okay, there we go.
Not advertising Sprite as a recovery drink.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, and I'm gonna send you the information on the internet.
He ain't lying.
I'm gonna send you the information on the internet, Coach Thornhill, so you'll know what I'm talking about. This ain't just Coach O talking, even though me and Pumi should have been said it, because we've been drinking these since we've been moving around 72 hours back in the day. You got to get a cold Sprite. I'm telling you. Listen, take it from somebody that move around.
I got you. Hey, you definitely got to tell me, Coach. Hey, what they call you, Coach? Moon Man.
They don't call me no Moon Man. I don't know where your crazy ass uncle. Yeah, your crazy ass uncle called me that. I said, don't nobody call me that. I started to whoop his ass. It's like, motherfucker called me that. He lucky I was in your house. That's why he ain't saying nothing else the rest of the time I was in that joint. He got quiet as shit.
Did he know?
Talking about Moon Man. I said, hey, man, what the fuck you talking to? Hey, look.
Gotta love him.
Coach, I'm sorry, Coach. Hey, welcome to the No Cap Sports Show podcast. With
Hey, look, she was prepared. I prepared her before she got on here.
Hey,
So,
this
hey,
is
look,
family first.
I love it. I love it. I swear.
Yeah.
This is great.
But look, awesome show, and thank you again, Coach Bree, for being a guest on our show. I know our viewers and listeners really appreciated you being on here. They learned a lot about you. You hit a lot of home runs throughout the course of this interview that resonated with people. I'm sure there's a lot of women and young women, ladies that heard your story, both as a player and as a coach, that may want to follow your path, that picked up some gems, and hopefully, that helped them with their career path. So, we appreciate you wholeheartedly. And look, you family now, you welcome back to the show anytime, whether it's just to chop it up and talk shit with the boys, or you want to bring somebody from your team and talk about
That'd be great, actually.
your season. Yeah, if you want to come back right before your season and chop it up about your season,
definitely keep us
just let me
up
know.
to date on your season.
Yeah,
I will. I think that would be great for them young ladies to do something like this.
Yeah.
Let's get it. That's the deal. So, No Cap listeners and viewers, we appreciate your continued support. Continue to follow us each and every Wednesday, same time. You know what it is. Respect and honor, and salute.
Salute.
No Cap Sports Show, where sports and combos collide.